Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm here with Felicia Cook. She is the Charitable Giving Director of Children's Home Society. That is a great title.
Yeah. I raise funds. That's what it's all about.
You're the fundraiser for Children's Home Society. And for those of us who may not know, what is Children's Home Society? What do you do?
Well, Children's Home Society of Florida is the organization that takes care of the kids. We have lots of different programs throughout the state. And, I really hate to talk about our programs because it's always about the children. So, our motto, our logo, our vision is inspiring, embracing children and inspiring lives. And that's what we do.
What children are we talking about?
We're talking about the abused, the neglected, the abandoned children that are here. And I'm sure you've seen the stories. We have quite the need for foster care families in Bay County. And
there's a shortage.
There is a shortage.
I read that in the paper. I've heard it on the news.
Yeah.
And that was actually a while ago that bubbled up to the top of the news. But
Yes.
the need still remains, doesn't it?
Oh gosh, yes.
Just because it's not in the news doesn't mean it's gone.
Right. And so, our organization in Bay County has the dependency case management contract. And so, we're trying to make sure that those children that are in other people's care are getting everything that they need, that they're attending school, that they're getting the counseling, that they have what any child would need to be secure and safe in a home.
Now, is it a state-funded organization, or is it some sort of blend of private and public, or?
We're a private organization. However, there are state contracts. We have a contract through Big Bend, which is our community-based care, but not all of our programs are contracted. So we do a lot of programs that receive no funds at all.
So you provide a service that the government just can't deliver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they do that through contracting.
Right.
Now, how did Children's Home Society start? How long has it been around?
Oh my goodness. Well, more than 100 years. 1902 is when we began, and it started with the orphan trains out of the New York area.
Yeah.
The orphan trains would go down the seacoast, and at every depot they would stop, and children would get off, and people would take what they wanted, and when it was over, children got back on, and they went to the next depot, and it went that way all the way down to Jacksonville. And it finally came to an end in Jacksonville when 3 ministers and friends got together and said, they're never getting back on that train. So from now on, when kids came down the seacoast and they got to Jacksonville, then they were taken by those 3 men and taken throughout Florida to be adopted.
Boy, have times changed for the better.
Yeah.
What a horrific experience that must have been for many of these children. I'm sure some of them wound up in good homes, but
you don't know.
It's different times now.
Yeah.
It's quite different times. We have to run off to the local weather, but after that, let's talk about how our viewers can help Children's Home Society and help these disadvantaged and abused children get a better life.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm, westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Felicia Cook from Children's Home Society. And you are the
Charitable Giving Director.
Charitable Giving Director, says so right on our business card.
Yeah, it does.
Now, in the previous segment, you told us about the history of Children's Home Society and what your mission is to help these abused and abandoned children. And you're kind of a private organization, or you are a private organization that fulfills some government contracts, but that doesn't always pay the bills, does it?
No, it doesn't. We are the largest, oldest private family services organization here in Florida, and though we get government contracts, even those don't usually cover the cost of everything that you're doing. We all know how that goes. But we have lots of programs that aren't covered by that we have a counseling program that you just can't even realize that when a child is taken out of trauma that they would need counseling. Why isn't that part of a program?
Wouldn't that make sense?
It would make sense, but it's not always.
And some of the trauma that children experience, it could be crime or criminal or abuse or God knows what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so we have counseling, we have case management, we have targeted case management, which are for special cases. We have our Early Steps program, but it's all about making sure that the children that are given to us or that we come in contact with have safe, secure, loving homes and can have a future that's open for everybody, not just kids of status.
How do we help? If someone's watching this and you're tugging at their heartstrings with these stories, how does somebody help?
Well, the best way we can help, because remember, I'm the charitable giving director. Is cash is king. So, but you can also help by when you're out purchasing things for your children. There's another child in this county that has the same need. So you can always pick up double and drop it off. Or
where should we drop it off?
You can drop it off at Children's Home Society right there on Harrison Avenue. We've got Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy Center. We have Big Bend and Life Management Center. We have Anchorage Children's Home. There's a lot of our agencies that work together to fill the needs of these children. And so, but for us to be able to do the programs that we need to help those children, cash is king. So we have Compassionate Chefs for Kids 2014 coming up September 6th.
Compassionate Chefs for Kids. And what is this event about?
Well, Toyota is our presenting sponsor and has been for many years and will continue to be, for all the chefs to come in, give the best that they can give, and the people who are coming in, of course, are paying to get in, so everybody's giving to the children, and it helps us with our programs.
And how do we go to this thing? Do we need to buy a ticket? Or
you could be a table sponsor, or you can just purchase a ticket to come in. You can go to our website at chsfl, the initials, .org, or you can just come to Harrison Avenue and come to the office. Give us a call at 747-5411.
And say, I want a ticket to go to Compassionate Chefs, or I want to sponsor a table, or whatever.
That's right.
Thank you so much for the good work you do at Children's Home Society.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having us on.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hi, this is David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Have you ever turned on your car's AC system and got blasted by a foul, stinchy locker room smell? If you have, here's what's going on, and here's what it's going to take care of the problem. Think back to when rooms were cooled by window AC units. If you walked around to the back of the house, to the back of the AC, you saw water dripping down from the back of the AC unit. That water is AC condensation coming from the evaporator core of the AC. In your car, it's no different. There's an evaporator core located inside the dash of your vehicle, inside an evaporator core box. Condensation forms around the evaporator core, collects in the bottom of the box, and escapes through a drain tube located at the bottom of the vehicle. The locker room stench you get is when that water cannot escape from your car. If this happens to you, there are only two ways to really take care of this. First, get the car on a lift, raise it up, find the drain tube. To either blow air, compressed air back up into the drain tube, or find an object that you can clear the drain tube with. Clear out the debris, water should run out. It's more of a professional way of doing things. You have to physically remove the evaporator core, physically remove the evaporator core box, clean the evaporator core box, clean out the drain tube, and then reinstall. Do all these steps, and that stinky locker room smell will be gone. I'm David Lovett, and this has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hey folks, this is Joshua Brown with Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. Is your check engine light on? If it is, text MADHAT28, that's MADHAT28, to 24247, and we'll check it for free.
Welcome back to the show, and I have Pamela Elliott from Elliott Vocal Studios and Elliott Talent Agency.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the show, Pamela. I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, thank you, Don.
You guys have been totally busy as always. And
yes.
what's going on down there now? You got some summer specials coming up, or
Yeah,
back to school specials, or whatever?
Back to school specials. Yeah. We've got some coupons in the Bay County Connection right now that you can take advantage of. They're really good ones. Really good ones.
Okay.
And we've got some new classes starting. We've got a new class for teens starting, which is great. And we've got, our Monday night class, of course. And it's for kids that are ages 9 through 12. And then 13 and up, we're going to start that teen class on Thursday nights at 6:30, which will be really fun. And then we got another little class that's starting, and it's going to be on Thursdays as well. I believe it's at 5:30, and it's for kids from 6 to 8.
6 to 8. And what kind of class is it? Is it going to be just general music or vocals or everything?
It's vocals and learning about your vocal cords and your vocal space, how to breathe, doing vocal exercises, those kind of things. And
That seems like a great after-school activity.
it is, and they have so much fun, and they get to choose a song and sing solo in class every week. So they get on a microphone and learn mic control and how to hold that mic up there and really be heard, and they get to, they get their little song positively critiqued.
Yeah, because there's a lot more to holding a microphone than just holding it. I mean, depending on how you sing, there's a distance, angle, whole thing you've got to take into consideration.
You've got to learn that, what a direct mic is and an omni mic and those kind of things, so that, direct mic's what most of the singers sing with these days. And if you hold a direct mic, you want to hold it nice and right in front of your mouth. An omni mic, you can kind of hold it out and it picks up all the way around. But direct mic's more is what it is. It's
Hence
a direct
the name,
mic.
direct mic. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, so mic control is important.
Yeah.
If they want to truly get out and perform, it's a great thing to do.
Now, I would imagine that vocal lessons are a lot like, maybe a lot like dance. Do you find that there's more little girls that go to your classes than little boys, or is that not?
Not
what you're seeing?
necessarily.
Yeah.
Very surprisingly, we have a lot of guys. Lots of guys in our Monday night class. At one point, it was more guys than it was girls.
Really?
Yeah.
I find that kind of surprising. Yeah.
It was really cool.
And it is a cool after-school activity, and I just remember from my son when he was younger, we used to drop him off at a music store for his guitar lessons, and it was just, a couple times a week he was there, learning his thing, and then he'd come home, and it actually helped him in his studies, too.
That's great.
Music really does. It teaches you about proportions and about counting and about timing, and there's a little bit of math in there.
Yes, there is.
And it's
surely
a great
is.
release.
It is, and it's a happy, it's a happy thing. It makes you feel good when you do music. Music's
Yeah. And I might have
a
told you
stress
this.
relief.
I know when he was studying so hard in high school, I knew when he took a break because I'd hear his guitar. He'd take a break from studying, then I hear him and everything strumming along, and then he'd go. Then the music would stop, and then he'd be back to studying again. And it's a good mental break.
It is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we got some another event coming up next weekend, the 6th and the 7th. We've got the Catherine Sullivan Acting on Camera Seminar, and she's coming in from Dallas.
Now, who is Catherine Sullivan?
She is one of the most sought after acting coaches, acting for camera coaches in the nation.
Oh, I need to meet her then.
Yeah, she's really great, and she's so nice. We got the opportunity to spend time with her and her husband this past weekend, and it was really wonderful.
Now, she's going to be giving special classes?
Yeah, she's going to do a 10-hour intensive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's over 2 days, the 6th and the 7th. And it will be, the 7th is on Sunday, and it'll be after church on Sunday. So it's going to be really great. Call us and check us out, and ask us about it, and we'll.
So we can call and register for that.
Yes, and you can actually go online and register it at ElliottVocalStudios.com.
Okay,
and
or call you at the studio.
Yeah, you can call us at the studio at 850-215-6050.
Okay, well, Pamela Elliott, we're going to have to let that be the final word, but good to see you again.
You too.
And we'll see you next week.
All right.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Lieutenant Terry Paris from the Panama City Beach Fire Department. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate all that you do. And you and I have something in common. You're presently a firefighter. I'm a former New York City firefighter. And 9/11 is right around the corner, so that has a special significance for firefighters the world over, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, it was such a tragic day, and everybody remembers it. I mean, you know where you were when that tragic event happens, and it just every year you remember.
And it's a lot to process, even now, years afterwards. You know, before we started the interview, you showed me this book, and you have the names of all the people that perished and all the firefighters that were killed, the 343 firefighters that were killed that day. And heck, the number one guy, alphabetical order, is Lieutenant Greg Atlas, a guy I used to work with when I was a New York City firefighter. So this is very personal stuff for me. And I have nothing but and I don't care if you're a big city fireman or a small town fireman or a volunteer, it takes a special kind of person to be a firefighter, doesn't it?
It does. We're a unique breed, and you know exactly, being a retired fireman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most people outside of our agency or our industry, they don't understand what it takes, the type of person, and they don't understand the brotherhood, the family.
People don't get that a lot.
They don't, and it's hard. You know, even my wife, I talk about my second family and how close the guys are to me, and she still doesn't quite understand exactly. So because we are such a unique breed.
Well, there's something that, just like the bonds that soldiers form in combat, firemen do that. I mean, you crawl down a smoky hallway with a guy, he's your brother at the end of that job, Now, you guys are doing something special for 9/11. You're doing a stair climb, aren't you?
We are. It's a charity fundraiser, but most importantly, it's a memorial. This will be our 4th year of doing it, and every year it gets bigger and better. But we decided to do the stair climb. Other people have done it, and we said, what a better way to honor the 343 than to climb stairs, which is exactly what they were doing that day. They knew the outcome, and they still went in to try to save the civilians.
And if you've worn a Scott pack and had all the gear on and the helmet and all that stuff, you know what a physical effort it is to climb stairs and all that stuff. Can you imagine these guys going up dozens of stories in the World Trade Center, knowing that you may not come out, but just like giving that last ounce of that physical and moral effort to get up there? It's just amazing.
It is. I mean, I've been on the job 23 years. We talked about our career before we started the interview, and that still gets me. Even 23 years on the job, I'm trying to think if I was in that position, and just unbelievable respect for those guys.
It's amazing stuff when you think about it, Terry. We got to run off to a break right now, but on the other side of that, I want to talk more about this memorial stair climb and how all people can be part of it.
All right.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Lieutenant Terry Paris from the Panama City Beach Fire Department, and we're talking about the 9/11 memorial stair climb. So, Terry, you were telling me about the stair climb, and where's it going to be now? Lake Town Wharf?
It's at Lake Town Wharf condominiums on the beach.
And how do people become a part of it?
The easiest way is to go to our website, which is www.pcbstairclimb.com. And they can get information about being a volunteer, being a corporate sponsor, or registering, and then there's an actual register button. They can just go online and register for the climb.
And why should people be part of it? Besides the emotional appeal of 9/11, what happens to all the money that you collect?
All of our money goes to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, and the stair climb money, there's charities and fundraisers all over the United States, but our money is earmarked for the mental counseling unit for FDNY.
Terry, it's been 14 years since 9/11. I mean, why do we still need mental counseling for that?
And that's like one of the number one questions we get asked. Well, you think all these years later, the kids are graduating high school, they're graduating college, the daughters are getting married, and dad is not there to walk them down the aisle. So you're having all these, important events in their life, and family members aren't there. So the need for the counseling unit is greater now than it actually was back in 9/11.
When you pull a person out of a family so abruptly and so tragically as this bloodthirsty attack of 9/11, it has second and third order effects. It has a ripple effect in families and communities, and people are still coping with that, aren't they?
They sure are. When you go about your everyday life, you tend to forget things like that. And then, it takes an event for everybody to remember. It's like, oh, yeah, like you said, it not only affected that immediate family, but then their extended family, the community, businesses. It was a great loss.
And as you know, I lost my younger brother on 9/11 in Tower 2 of the World Trade Center. So what you're doing is really a personal thing for me. And when it really hit me was that, when my son was applying to colleges, he was writing about his uncle in his essays that was killed on 9/11. He was a little boy when all that happened. And here we are still thinking about it, still writing about it. And, and I think it's important work that you're doing And it's important work that the counseling unit is doing up there in New York for these family members that are left behind.
It's tremendously important. I mean, the need is there. Like I said, it's greater than ever. And, you know, this is just something that not only affected the fire service, but, you know, the United States as whole. And
every red-blooded American, and I don't care what your background is, it was touched very deeply by that event.
Absolutely.
And this is one good way to give it back. And again, Lieutenant Terry Paris from Panama City Beach Fire Department, thank you so much for coming on the show. And if someone wants to get involved, that website again is?
It's pcbstairclimb.com.
pcbstairclimb.com. Don't expect me to climb any stairs, but I'll certainly give some money not to. And we'll see you next time.